looking at it now, this cloth is a very pale pink. And it's in, a lot of it's in shadow, and the shadow in real life came across as almost a lavender. So I'm going to try to develop a pink color. Maybe I'll go up here. I'll wipe my palette off. Okay, right now I'm trying to mix the pink cloth. I've got a little too intense, but maybe if I put a little bit, that's still a little too dark. And that doesn't really show up that well in these photographs. But if I were at home looking at the setup, and I still have it set up at home, I would know it's a very pale. But it will have some shadow, which is subtle. Okay, I'm going to start with a hog bristle brush and see what I think of just putting a little, it's a little dark. So it's really almost white. Yeah, that's closer to what it's really. All right, right now I'm looking more at the large photo so that I can get this color down for the pink cloth. And these dark areas are where it's in shadow. It might have a little bit more of an orange tint to it. So I'm going to throw a little orangey color in mixing it. Okay, so this first dab of pink that I put on here, I wasn't too nuts about it. It was just too dark. And then when I put this dab of pink, I'll probably keep that there, but I might go over it. But all I had, I felt like the cloth had a little bit more orange in it than what that shows. But also, a cloth like this has different colors. When you look at it, different colors in the light. So that's why I'm going to leave that there for now, but I can always go over it. So I mixed a little bit of orange in with this light cloth color, and I'm still going to be dabbing it in. That might be too much too salmon-y. So a little more white. It's too dark also. So and the cloth. The table actually bends, but I'm not going to put that in there. I might put a hint of it. And I'm doing these lights. Normally I probably would have been better off to start off with the darks of the pink. And I'm going to go there in just a moment. But I just want to get a sense of that this pink cloth is here, and just as far as how it goes with the other colors. And painting cloth is tricky. It's fun. You have folds in the cloth. Or you can set it up so that the cloth has a lot of folds in it. And that can be kind of pretty. Or it can be messy. Okay, and now I've got too much of a hard edge here. So I'm going to take my green brush, just kind of go over a little bit. And I'll fix it on the bottom in a little bit, but I want to get in some shadow. And then I'll real quickly, after I do that, I'll real quickly put some color in for the fruit, and then the difficult part with the glass. That is going to be the trickiest part of all. Palette knives are very, very helpful for mixing colors on your palette. Sometimes you just mix it with your brush, but other times you want a base of color, a lot of it. So using the palette knife really helps. It also helps you if you have to scrape anything. Okay, now I want to mix a darker color to make for this pink. So I'm gonna add a little tiny bit much of ultramarine blue, because I saw it at home as almost a lavender. Okay, so I've got too much blue on here and too much red, but I'll put some more white. Oh, that's too much. So I'm scraping away some of this so I have more room. Some of these colors are more intense than others too. Like the alizarin crimson is extremely intense. So just a little dab of it will give a whole lot of red appearance, which is too much right now. So I'll try it on the palette and see how it looks. I think it needs just a bit more blue. Ultramarine blue is also very intense. Trying a little bit more rose d'or and more white. Let's see how this looks on the canvas. Okay, so I'm putting this shadow in as kind of a lavender. I may need to gray it down a little bit. Might be too lavender. So I'm going to gray it down by grabbing a little bit of this gray background color. That shadow is cast completely across. To the vase. You might notice I'm using the side, the edge of this brush to do this. And then I'll put some more of the pink just along the edge back here. Take my fan brush and blend it a little bit. And I'm going to put more of the pink going into that. And it's very thick paint right now. I'm just going to kind of keep going with it. Trying to thin it down a little bit. And I've got the same color, but I probably should mix some other kinds of shadow color. So here we have a little fold. More fold. And then there's a shadow coming off of the glass going to the back. And some shadow from the vase, which kind of goes to the back. sometimes I work on a painting several days in a row. That way I can use the same paint, well, not the paint that I've mixed, but I can use the same squeezed dabs of the paint. If I keep it nice, I have to keep it covered. And some of them do dry quicker. So some I can't use, I'm just not going to be able to use. I've got a plastic box. In fact, I think you can get this at any store, such as Michael's or that type of store, or art supply store. It's a plastic box that did have, it will fit easel paper. You can use, palette paper, or you can just put your palette into it. So I cover it. And the paint will last, most of the colors last overnight. Some of the colors, some of the earth tone colors harden quickly, so I can't really save them. But the white stays out, and most of the colors down to most of the colors except for raw sienna, burnt sienna and burnt umber. Those close, when I say close, I mean get hard very quickly. So I'm putting more of this light color on here. I'm going to just kind of dab it in.